Thank you for staying with us, and a warm welcome to those who've just joined us. Now, another promise made, another promise broken. The remains of the Lily mine workers remain trapped underground. This is despite a promise by the ANC Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, that they would be brought up in 3 months. But he made that promise way back in May. The families of Yvonne Mnisi, Fikile Mbalula and Solomon Nyirenda are still waiting for closure. A spokesperson for the families, Harry Mazibuko, joins me now live. Thank you, Mr. Mazibuko, for your time here on ENCA. Just first of all, I realized through the family statement that there's a lot that you have against the ANC government. You're talking about what happened on Workers' Day, for instance, your requests not being honored in terms of the type of event that would happen at that place. So I suspect that the families feel as though the ANC government is insensitive.
A very good day to you and the viewers as well. Indeed, not only the ANC government, but many stakeholders that are involved in the issue in question. That is why our position as the families and the employees is that we mark over 7 years of torture and betrayal by the people who are in power, who are our authorities, who should have done better than the current situation. Because today we mark 1,563 days as the families and some employees camping outside the mine, demanding a governmental intervention, because we believe, and it's true, the writing is on the wall, that the government, especially DMRE in particular, they are the custodians of the mineral rights. You see, it is not for the first time on the 1st May of this year on a Workers' Day, whereby 2 million rand has been spent by the Tripartite Alliance led by the Secretary General of African National Congress. You see, without any proper consultation with the families, we have seen posters on the street that ANC and the Alliance, they are going to celebrate, to commemorate the life of Yvonne Pretty and Solomon. And big sounds were brought in, hired sound, yet we were told as African by our traditional leader, Mr. T.S. Damin, our chief, that to find them in a spiritual approach, point of view, that we mustn't make sound, but because of the lack of consultation that happened, and it made the families very, very angry.
Mr. Mazibuko, I know that there is the mother of Solomon Nyirenda who would be sleeping. Actually, all the family members decided that they would sleep outside the mine for a couple of days in the hope that one day their children would be found. Is this still happening? Do the families still have hope that one day you will be able to bury your loved ones?
It is not a matter of choice. It's a humanitarian issue. It's a natural issue. Because, for an example, if I can quote what Yvonne's mother is saying, she can't be home. Because if she is home, she's telling everybody is that I feel like I've forgotten, I've given up, I'm no longer in love with the Yvonne. So she feels better when she's there at the camp, where the situation and the living conditions are not better. There's no heater in this unbearable cold weather, but they've even got a choice, and all they need is not a percent or whatsoever. It's closure. It's finality. It's for them to be found whether they are dead or alive. So that is why they'll remain here under these circumstances, under the various attacks. Remember, if I can remind you, there was a time where known individuals came during the daylight and burned down our camp. And the case was open. Unfortunately, our judiciary, they say they don't see a case yet. The leader of that ring, I've got a voice note where he confirms that it's him who burned down the camp. But unfortunately, our courts, they say they can't find the case of that. And the so-called Section 205, whereby we have to submit that voice note, and we did. But that has not been presented to the court, including myself. I didn't testify. So again, when we mention the issue of Fikile Mbalula, it's not for the first time. The then Premier of Mpumalanga, Mr. Didi Mabuza, who was now the Deputy President of the Republic, he came on the very same mine with the same issue in 2017. and say we must leave, we as employees, we must leave the mine management alone. Him being in government, he will deal with them. And in the meantime, he will bring the project of the RDPs and the road paving, of which the employees will take part of the meantime. And the then sitting minister, Mr. Mantashe, said them in government, they cannot spend the government money on a private company. So amongst those government official who's telling the truth, let us
so Mr. Mazibuko, here's what I'm noticing is the theme in all your answers. It seems everybody has let you down. You've mentioned the judiciary, you're mentioning the DMRE, the company. What is the company saying, the company that owns that mine, number one? And you also were offered help by Action SA's leader Herman Mashaba at some point. Is that not assisting?
To be fair to myself and everybody, is that there is no assistance that we did receive from our government, be it provincial level or national, you see. Because remember, in a working area, you remember our lawyers should have been our union. So the question to everybody, where is our union? What is it that is to represent the interests of you vote?
Yeah. All right, Harry Mazibuko, he is the spokesperson of those families who are still hoping that their children's remains are brought up to surface, that is rather at Lily Mine, that tragedy happening many years ago now.